All right, we're going to talk about something called powers of 10 or power of 10 numbers. And all these numbers that you see here on the screen are all powers of 10. And they're very easily recognizable because a power of 10 number has the digit 1 time, and then all of the other digits in that number are always 0. Okay? But what makes a power of 10 number, what makes it special, is that a power of 10 number can be reached by repeatedly multiplying the number 10 a certain number of times. So we'll go ahead and start off with our 1 million, which is a power of 10 number. And we're going to establish a pattern here. We can write 1 million as 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. So you can see that we multiply 10 times itself 6 times to get the number 1 million. Now we can go ahead and further write this as an exponent. Okay? And since we multiply 10 times itself 10 times, 10 is going to be our base number. And then we'll put an exponent of 6. And we would read this 10 to the power of 6. Okay? 10 would be my base number. 6 would be my power, or my exponent. Now, if you notice, looking for patterns here, our base number of 10 raised to the 6th power, an exponent of 6, that 6 is the same number of zeros in our power of 10 numbers. If we come back and count zeros, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros in this number here, 1 million. So this would be 10 to the power of 6. All right, let's continue our pattern. All right, this number, 100,000, we can quickly recognize it as a power of 10 because it has the digit 1 only 1 time, and then all of the other digits in this number are 0. All right. And we can write this, we've got 5 zeros in there. That tells me that we can reach this number by multiplying 10 times itself 5 times. And then we can write that as an exponent with 10 as our base number again. And this time it will be to the power of 5 because I multiplied 10 times itself 5 times. And also following our pattern, 100,000 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So 10 to the power of 5. It's going down to 10,000. Right, 10,000. I have 4 zeros, so I know that I can reach 10,000 by multiplying 10 times itself 4 times. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. And then writing that as an exponent, it would be 10 to the power of 4. And that simply means 10 times itself 4 times. And again, looking at our pattern, this exponent, this power, will always, in a power of 10 number, will always be equal to the number of zeros. Coming on down here, I've got 1,000. And let's go ahead and jump on over here and go straight to our exponent and see if we can figure out first what our exponent would be. We know this is a power of 10 number. We can recognize that because it has the digit 1 and then all the other numbers are 0. So let's go ahead and put our base of 10, and then we can count zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros. So we've raised that to the power of 3. And this means 10 times itself 3 times. So 10 times 10 times 10. All right, and I bet you can see that 100, that's also a power of 10 number, but I bet you can see very quickly now that we could write this as 10 to the power of 2. Our 100 has 2 zeros, so that tells us it's going to be raised to the power of 2. And then 10 to the power of 2, of course, means 10 times 10. All right, let's come on down here to the number 10. And if we follow our pattern here, we can write 10 as 10 to the power of 1, because the number 10 only has 1 0, so it would be 10 to the power of 1. And if we follow this pattern all the way down, all right, one is kind of a curious number, but let's just follow our pattern, stick with our pattern. We can write 1 is 10. Now, 1 has no zeros in it, okay? So we could say it has 0 zeros. So we could go, if we follow our pattern, we'll raise 10 to the power of 0. So 10 to the power of 0 is actually another way to write the number 1. All right, in the next slide, we'll just do a few little practice modules that might help you with some to understand this a little bit better, to get some practice. All right, we've got four different numbers here written in their exponent form. In base 10, 10 raised to a certain power, or raised to an exponent. Okay, and our instructions call for us to write this in standard form. So let's go ahead and do this one first. 10 to the power of 3, that tells me that would be 10 times itself 3 times, or it would be a 1 followed by 3 zeros. And that exponent on a power of 10, that exponent tells me how many zeros to follow my 1 by. All right, so let's go to 10 to the power of 5. This tells me that this is 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. I multiply 10 times itself 5 times. Or I can write this as a 1 followed by 5 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We plug our commas in. All right, let's come down here. This is 10 to the power of 2. Sometimes when we raise a number to the power of 2, sometimes we refer to that as squared. So we might also say this 10 squared. Same thing as 10 to the power of 2. All right, so 10 to the power of 2 tells me that we're going to multiply 10 times itself 2 times, or I would write that as a 1 followed by 2 zeros. So 10 to the power of 2 would be 100. And following our pattern, 10 to the power of 1, okay? If we follow the multiplication pattern, that's going to be 10 times itself once, or just 10. And if we write it in standard form, which we actually already did, let's go ahead and follow our same process that we've been following up above. 10 to the power of 1 tells me to put a 1, and then that exponent 1 tells me to follow it with 1 0. So 10 to the power of 1 would just be whole number 10. Sometimes you might be required to take a number, a power of 10 number that's written in standard form, like you see right here, and then convert that into exponent form. Okay, very simple to do. You could probably figure it out with what we've done already. 10,000, a power of 10 number. So if I write it in exponent form, it will be base 10. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, so I can go ahead and raise this to the power of 4. So 10 to the power of 4. And keep in mind that means that this is equal to 10 times itself 4 times. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. All right, coming on down here to 100. Okay. This is a power of 10 number, so we'll go ahead and put a base number of 10. I have 1, 2 zeros, so I can write this as 10 to the power of 2. And remember, a number raised to the second power, we can also say that it's squared. So we could refer to this number as 10 to the power of 2, or 10 squared would be the same thing. Let's come on down here. 1,000, a power of 10 number. We're going to write it in exponent form. So we'll put our base of 10. And I have 1, 2, 3 zeros, so we'll go ahead and raise that to the power of 3. 10 to the power of 3. And then finally, we'll come down here to our last one, another power of 10 number. So let's put our base number of 10. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So we'll write this as 10 to the power of 5. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I hope you have a good day.